Hello, dear viewers, and welcome to this episode 3 Lust of Blood of the Covenant. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and meet our lusting vampires, and let's start with Az.
Hey, what's up? I'm or as I was on the social media, because I am funny. I think I'm funny. We'll figure that out later. I'm playing Omen of Clan Gangrel at 2 Hunger. Everything's fine. Yeah.
With that glowing reassurance, I'm sure it is. Gilbert Ramos.
Hello everyone, my name is Gilbert Ramos. I am found everywhere at Ramos the Nomad. I am the CEO and founder of Rolling Nomads, and tonight I will be playing Velasco Zavallo Osorio Lozano.
You know, sometimes when you got 4 names, it turns out to be a mouthful. Huddy.
Hello, I'm Huddy von Schland. I'm a World of Darkness community ambassador. I'm a storyteller of many things. But tonight I'm playing Lark Stone, a member of Clan Ministry.
Indeed. And what does the night have in store for Lark? I'm sure the episode title has nothing to do with it. Last but certainly not least for our wonderful players, Luna.
Hello, I'm Luna, or Druid by Night. You can find me at Druid by Night on all the social medias, including Twitch, where I stream. You've probably seen me on the Rolling Nomads a time or two, but today I will be playing Calliope Rose of Clan Tremere.
Indeed. And I wonder what the evening has in store for Calliope. And I am Avery, at Avery DeBoy on all the social media platforms. I'm something of an internet personality. And tonight I will be playing every kindred who has not just introduced themselves, probably a few humans, and who knows what else might come across the landscape. But without any further ado, let's get right in. As we focus back into our story, an eventful evening was had, or rather an early part of the evening was very eventful at the club Nexus, where there was a cornering of the aforementioned joiner, or rather maybe one of many joiners. The vessel's pushing this vice for some mysterious entity. We got to see Lark interact with the sheriff of the Camarilla, Badger, as well as the prince of the Camarilla, Prince Mariana Jessup, and an interesting conversation was had there. A Duskborn who was branded by the Camarilla was aptly freed by Omen, who has a soft spot for these downtrodden folk. And a little bit of interesting information about potentially another Samis in the city was ascertained from Joiner as well. The situation with Janky Peterson and his sister Sarah was cleared up through a little bit of joint teamwork from our good Gangrel and our good Tremere. And when leaving the club, everyone got a message to meet back at the Blood of the Covenant Church of Christ, where Elliot was having a gathering of the kindred of his domain for some unknown reason. And that is exactly where we find ourselves, driving back through the city from East Side, driving through Riverview, and back across the bridge into Kanoa City. In Omen's car, as it is Omen and Lark coming back together, Omen, your phone begins to ring.
He's gonna look down, check who it is.
It's Gracie.
Omen will answer it. Hey, what's going on?
I need you to get your ass back here right now.
Yeah, everything fine? Or
No.
I do have somewhere I have to be.
Nope, you are in trouble, sir.
What?
Get your ass back here.
What? Gracie, what's going on at the shop?
Omen. Get here now.
Right, yeah, I'm on my way.
The
And
phone
I'll hang
hangs
up. Lark, I'm real sorry. I gotta make a quick stop back at home.
Lark has been very quiet. She's very hungry. You can see she has her fangs out and about. and she's just thinking about all the things Mariana Jessup said and just... Yeah. Whatever.
I promise it'll be right quick.
Okay.
You all right?
No, I'm not all right.
I know there was a lot back there, and then having to go home. I mean, afterwards, I can always take you back. You don't have to stay.
How close are we to the body shop?
Probably about an 8-minute drive.
Oh man, I really don't know. I really don't know. I can't think right now. I'm too hungry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, we can figure something out. We're almost back. We'll figure something out.
It's gonna turn on the radio and turn it up real loud to whatever station is.
Full on classic rock just pouring through, like divorced dad rock, probably. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And with the sounds of the early 2000s band Chevelle in the background, you pull into the parking lot of the body shop.
Soon as Omen pulls in to the body shop, Lark is going to reach down under the seat and use the lever and pull the seat back and climb on top of Omen.
Oh.
And she's going to start kissing up your neck, and she says, "You're always going to protect me, aren't you, puppy dog?"
You're real hungry, aren't you? And
I-
Omen will actually pull her in closer.
I asked you a question.
That's my job. Yep. Yes. Uh-huh.
I need something from you right now, Omen.
Okay.
Will you feed me?
I don't know if that's such a great idea, Lark.
But
It's yes or no.
he's gonna turn his neck to the side. I gave you my word, didn't I?
She's going to bite in as soon as that neck's exposed.
Wonderful. How many rouse checks worth of blood are you taking?
Lark is gluttonous.
All of it?
3.
Just 3. 3 rouse checks if you don't mind.
3 rouse checks. All right. Yeah. No. Omen's pulling her in closer. He's got his hands wrapped in her hair, and he's not gonna try and stop her. I only failed on 1, so I'm at 3 hunger.
Alright. This blood is exchanged one way. This will be a first endeavor towards blood bond for you, Lark. You've felt this feeling before, this upward welling of a fiery hot glow in your chest. So you look at him. Maybe it's not that he looks a little less scruffy than before, but maybe the rough edges are a little bit more endearing.
As Lark licks the wound closed, she's going to do something she doesn't do very often. And she's going to kiss him softly and deeply.
Omen, like I said, Omen's hands are curled in Lark's hair, and he kind of pulls her in closer and kisses her back.
Thank you, Omen.
Yeah. Uh-huh. That's,
Did you like it?
Yeah, I have to stop, you know.
Well, you are good enough to eat all the way up, but I have more things I'd like to do with you before you expire.
you know, feeling better.
I'm feeling much better. Why the hell are we at your body shop, by the way? I didn't even ask.
Gracie said something was wrong. I was in trouble. Maybe one of the clients.
She thin blood.
Omen looks a little sheepish. No. She's just Gracie.
Well, I'll go in with you.
Do you want me to carry you, or are you gonna?
No, I'm feeling a lot better now. You can hold my hand if you want to.
And so Omen will open the door and help Lark out. And walk in with her. He's looking for a problem. Making sure that
Lark's looking directly for Dawn because she has heard rumors that Dawn thinks that Omen has a crush on Lark. And Lark is just totally holding his hand everywhere they go.
I won't even require a roll. That's the first thing you both notice. None of the Duskborn are here. During their work hours, they should all be here.
Alright, something's wrong. Something's real wrong. Omen's gonna go through the front of the shop and start calling out for Dawn and Gracie.
The office door opens and Gracie pops her head out.
Gracie, what's going on? Where's Dawn? Where's Jerry? Where is everybody? What?
They all just fucking checked their phones and said they needed to leave. They said you would understand. What the fuck is that?
They all go to the same church.
In the middle of the fucking night?
God waits for no one.
Oh my god. Oh,
Which is why I'm here, because
okay, well, no, you and me have a problem. You get your hot pants right in this office, mister.
What? Can I at least get like a shirt or something?
Oh
if
my
we're gonna have
god,
to
and
be
you're not
quiet-
wearing a shirt. Jesus Christ, where have you been? Oh, well, I know where you've been, but we're gonna get to that.
Hold on, Gracie. We're gonna problem first. Is it that everybody left, or is one of the customers back?
That's one half of the fucking problem. We got 12 work orders sitting here tonight and not a fucking mechanic to do a single one of them.
And I was looking through those resumes, and I will pick one of them soon.
Mm-hmm. Get in the office.
And I'm just gonna kind of trudge towards the office. He hasn't let go of Lark's hand, though.
Lark will go with him. She's looking really angrily at Gracie for talking to Omen like this. And I imagine just with the wits and an insight, or maybe with Sense the Beast, she could tell if this is kindred or not.
Sure. You can, if you would like to use Sense the Beast, I'll let you add your dots in that discipline to your wits and insight roll.
2 successes.
2 successes. She is wholly mortal.
Okay. Lark's going to be squeezing Omen's hand ever harder as Gracie talks to him like that, to the point where Omen's seen it before, something that she did to stop a werewolf dead in its tracks once. She's pulling the sunglasses down, and Omen could probably glean that she's going to do it again if Gracie doesn't shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I'm just gonna squeeze her hand back. It's fine. Everything's fine. Don't worry about it.
Tell her to watch her tone, or I will.
As you get into the office, Gracie shuts the door behind you and then kind of thrusts her phone in your face, Omen, and it's a picture of you shirtless at the club, arm in arm with Calliope. What the fuck is this?
You said we needed higher caliber clientele.
I told you. You know she's my favorite artist, Omen. You know that. You know I've been trying to get into that club for months to see her play.
Exactly, and
Did
so
you just
I was
walk right in,
I was getting her backstage. Lark helped me get in.
Hi, Lark.
Hi.
Omen?
Do you want to meet her? Because I have.
Tonight? Yeah,
Not
I mean,
tonight,
I could go get changed.
No, I can't tonight because someone called me and said there was an emergency at the shop.
Don't you try and fucking put this on me when all your boys walked out and said you'd get it.
I'll go get him from the church, okay? And then next weekend, Nexus with Miss Rose.
Promise.
Yeah.
Cross your
Yeah.
heart. Hope to die. Stick a needle in your eye.
The next time I see her, or I'll try and
That's
get a
not
hold of her.
promise, Omen.
Next weekend we will go to Nexus and see Flappy Rose.
Promise. Cross your heart. Hope to die. Stick a needle in your eye.
Yeah, cross my heart. All that.
Fine.
But you can't be telling me there's an emergency and that I'm in trouble.
It
'cause then I
is an
think you're in
emergency.
trouble.
Oh, Omen. We have 6 of these cars. We have clients coming to pick them up in the morning. If they're not ready, that's not repeat business, old son.
I'll take care of it.
You better. Because I don't know. I don't think you spend much time on the internet. There's this fucking thing called a Yelp nowadays.
Okay. How old
We're
do you
s-
think I am, Gracie?
We're sitting at 2.5 stars, god damn it.
That's
Bad.
bad. That's bad.
It's because we don't have a fucking day crew.
And we're working on that. So just let me take care of this, and we're done. Everything's good, right, Gracie?
Fine.
Now, why are you still here? Go home.
Because I'm doing your books. Making sure you don't get hit for tax evasion, sir.
Yeah.
Lark's going to activate Daunt. She's had enough. Which, if Gracie is immortal, shouldn't require a roll, but it might affect Omen. Because they're standing right next to each other.
Yes. The resistance roll for that from Omen, please, would be great.
Would be composure and resolve. 5 successes.
Tree.
All right. So Omen, you are affected as well.
Omen's getting in front of Gracie.
Lark is going to say to Gracie, I think that your employer told you to go the hell home. Now.
She grabs her laptop and kind of shoves it in her bag. She just kind of looks out the side of her eye at you, Omen, and shuffles out of the garage.
Omen's tracking her the whole time and trying to stay away from Lark. At
Well,
the
as
same
soon
time.
as she leaves, Lark will
Yeah.
turn on awe. You can roll me off on that as well if you like to.
Dance, puppet man.
It's charisma. And that's not as good. Aw's not as good for me.
Got no strings to hold me down.
I only have strings. That's why I'm not dead yet.
All the composure and resolve. Ooh.
One success with a bestial failure.
There
you go.
6 successes with a critical.
Okay. All right. So with a bestial failure, Omen, I'm going to put you back under your clan compulsion. Anything beyond 1-word responses becomes difficult. -3 to your manipulation.
Perfect. Because as soon as Lark activates awe, she's gonna push any shit that was off the desk and very suggestively invite Omen, and she'll activate Blush of Life. She doesn't get hungrier. Let's have a little fun before we go to church.
Yeah. Bam.
In a clatter of things to the ground and the shedding of clothes, and a distinct rise in the temperature just from body friction, the camera, for lack of a better term, will move over to Calliope and Velasco arriving at the Blood of the Covenant Church.
How have you found our evening with our new companions, Miss Rose?
Tiresome, but, we're just getting to know each other.
Without you even getting off your motorcycle yet, Calliope, someone walks up beside you. They're in kind of a bluish gray, like full body jumper. It's got a name tag sewn onto it. It says Don. And he says, "Hey there. That's a real nice panhandle you got. You got somebody who works on that, or?"
Myself hasn't needed much maintenance, so
And you see his eyes widen for a second, and he looks almost pained.
Hello, what's your name? Dawn?
Yeah, right. My name's Don. I work over at the auto body shop down the way. And ma'am, I don't want to mansplain this to you, so your panhandle does indeed need maintenance. You're leaking oil pretty bad, and your exhaust could use a refit.
Usually, anything that follows such words aren't worth saying. They kind of defeat the purpose of "I don't wish to mansplain." Second half usually becomes "I'm going to."
That's not what I meant. I just think it'd be a right shame if your bike
Your
blew
intentions are inconsequential to your actions.
That's quite all right. You're the expert after all.
Yeah, and he kind of points across the way, and you see another old panhandle about 3 or 4 years older. He said, "That's my bike over there."
Okay, sure. I guess I could bring it in some time if you think it needs some work.
I mean, I wouldn't mean to presume or anything. He kind of looks
already
between
kind of
you and
past that.
Okay, all right. Well, if you bring it down, I'm sure my boss would like to say hi. His name's Omen. We work. Yeah.
Forgive me.
Oh,
You're one of Omen's boys.
Yeah. I do the majority of the desk work and the vintage auto work. I got a thing for old cars.
Well, that's something else entirely. Apologies, I stepped in when I didn't realize that you were a man of expertise. I'm well acquainted with Mr. Omen and the business that they run quite efficiently, I imagine.
Yeah. Do you know when he's gonna be here? Because we're all here, and there's kind of nobody at the shop right now, and
He should be following very shortly behind us. I believe they left before us. They must have. In fact, I'm surprised that Mr. Omen didn't beat us to the punch.
well, we did kind of leave somebody behind at the shop by themselves, so it might have been that.
I'm sure your employer will be along shortly.
Yep. And you see that all of the candles are lit inside of the church, and you can see many bodies moving around through the windows. I guess this is some sort of weird fellowship potluck thing, because there's a bunch of you guys here, and then there's some more of us.
We were not informed of the nature of the gathering. Seems you might
No.
have a little bit more information than us.
I just talked to Jessica, because she comes by sometimes. She's got a really cool old Chevy Trevelle. Man, that's a hell of a ride. but she comes by sometimes. So I asked her what was going on, and she said she didn't know, just that Elliot wanted everybody to get to know each other, I guess. Some sort of fellowshipping.
Well, that I can get behind. A little bit of a meet and greet, a shindig between all of the kindred in the area.
Sure, sounds great.
Yeah, I just hope the meat is with 2 E's, not 1.
You don't think that the good minister would lure you out here for dinner, do you?
I mean, you hear things when you're, thin blood. It happens to us.
It does indeed, but have you heard anything about the minister?
Oh, no, not really. I mean, I met him once when I took this job here, working with Omen. And I met him once, and he kind of gave me the willies, so I never really fucked around with him again.
Indeed, fair enough.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Well, thanks for, bringing this to my attention. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. I'm sure Omen will have us, cut you some kind of discount or something, since you're acquainted and such.
That would be so sweet.
Yeah. Them O-rings for the oil pan are kind of hard to find these days,
Ms. Rose, I think that when Omen does in fact join us, you might benefit from seeking out the assistance of his business, and I think you might find it beneficial to ask by name, of course, gesture toward his name tag, for this young gentleman here. You see, he does seem to be something of an expert.
I am inclined to agree.
It's at that point that you feel a mental knocking at the door of Velasco.
I do not resist.
And you hear the voice of your sire, Vivienne. Where you at, boy? I can feel your blood resonating near the earth.
The blood of the Covenant Church.
Well, come inside then.
You're here.
I was summoned. The Baron decided to make a personal drop-in to check on my well-being and invite me to a potluck.
I don't know if that's kind of foolish on his behalf.
We have an accord, he and I.
Moves in secret. I was unaware that you would reach out on your own.
There are moments where my intercession is required.
I will be in shortly. By your discretion, I would like to have a conversation with my new compatriot before I enter.
You burning moonlight, Velasco. Didn't you feel the mental door shut?
The moment it does. Yes, well, Dawn, if I hate to be rude, but I was hoping to get some private conversation in with Ms. Rose before we entered into the minister's humble abode.
Oh, yeah, no problem. And he reaches in his jumper and pulls out a business card and holds it out to you, Calliope.
I will take it.
Just, all right, I guess I'll see y'all inside or something.
Indeed you will.
And he kind of pulls the bill of his hat down and heads inside.
You wanted to speak to me?
Yes, my question still stands. You said that you found tonight tiresome.
Oh! Well, yeah, I liked Sarah. I liked her a lot. So I'm a little annoyed. But they come and they go, right?
Very rarely do mine ever go.
Oh.
I'm curious, if you liked Sarah so much, why let her go in the first place?
Seemed like the path of least resistance.
But a path that takes something from you is ill fit to walk, don't you agree?
Yeah, in most circumstances, yeah.
I'm going to be frank with you, Miss Rose. I don't understand your actions tonight.
What do you mean?
Well, as I said during the beginning of our outing, we were in your domain. Whether or not you wish to acknowledge it, that place was foreign to me. Foreign to Lark, I imagine. Foreign to Ullman. You were the most knowledgeable, you were the most equipped to handle the situations. And yet at the behest of others in your home, you bent. I wish to inquire why.
I'm just trying to be a team player.
Be careful with that mindset, Miss Rose. I have a feeling certain members of our coterie might find that very beneficial for their needs.
Who said it wasn't beneficial for mine?
By your own admission, you've lost something tonight, Miss Rose. I've done you the courtesy. I'm going to be honest with you. I've been frank with you. Let's not mince words. Let's not play these games. Do you feel like you came out on top?
She'll pause. No, not really.
It is with great interest I will be watching the rest of our coterie, yourself included. As I said, you are under my care now. I have vested interest in seeing all of you come out on top. Infighting, conflict, secret ambitions. These things does not a coterie make.
Truth be told, I've never been in one, so... I mean, came from Chantry, but it's a little different.
It's at this point that there's a snap in the bush, and you see a very familiar face walking out of the woods. Calliope. Rhododendron Phipps. Her hair is long and black. The stick and poke root tattoos that stretch from her nail beds up her arms, down her chest. She's wearing a cream-colored sundress and some tall brown leather boots. I do so wonder. I don't think either of you are quite old enough. Do you all remember the floods? Back in... God, must have been 68? Do you remember the floods?
Calliope will look stunned for a moment before just kind of straightening up and saying that no, ma'am, I wasn't born yet.
Well, see, there was a story about this boy what got his foot caught in a sewer grate. And he watched the water rise around him, and so many folk tried to get him free. And that boy, he ended up drowning. But that could have never been one of my chantry. No, Mr. Zavola, my chantry understands something that I hope you will come to understand soon. She walks around behind you, Calliope, her arms trailing over your shoulders. If that would have been me with my foot caught in that grate and the water rising around me, I would have told them motherfuckers to cut it off. 'Cause sometimes you gotta prune a part of yourself if you'd like to grow taller. Do you understand what it is I'm saying?
It sounds like an issue of poor roots.
Oh my. It sounds like we have another man trying to explain gardening to me.
I do consider myself a faithful practitioner.
She kind of smells the air. And yet, you have no scent of hide nor hair about you. You are no more hide than hair than you are streetlights and gasoline.
What you smell, madam, is the land. I can understand how someone out of their element might find it difficult to differentiate myself between it.
How quaint. Would you like to dismiss your friend, or shall I?
I'll see you inside. Let's go.
I'll stand there for a moment and just watch her. Indeed, I suppose I'll see both of you inside. Good evening.
She nods her head. As Velasco departs, she looks at you very hard, Calliope. Her eyes narrow. You were just gonna let him speak to me that way?
I figured you could stand up for yourself. You didn't need me stepping in for you.
Tell me what you've learned.
Oh, gosh, so much.
Haven't been to see you in years, my little Rose.
There's a biggest issue currently. There's a drug that affects us. Trying to get to the bottom of it and stop it.
What do you know about it thus far? Because we've heard at the Chantry, we've heard about this thing.
Yeah, it seems to be someone in, if I'm remembering correctly, storyteller, so Bon Hakim tower. Yeah, okay. There's some assassin in the tower who is in cahoots with a flesh crafter, making dealers. And they all look the same, as far as I'm understanding.
It does kin back to a time when there was this strange bloodline of kindred that we had spawned. We called them blood brothers. It does harken back to that. Though we recognize that now as a mistake, I can't assume everyone can learn from our mistakes. Sometimes you have to bump your face against a wall.
That is how we learn.
So what is your plan, my dear?
Well, going to see what the rest of tonight brings, and going forward, we'll be looking for these dealers. I can see them. They're branded with wards.
Good. And your summary judgment of your Baron here. What do you think of him? Am I gonna have to get rid of him?
I mean, I don't. She'll kind of look over her shoulder. I don't much care for him. She'll get real quiet.
Well, I will feed your Samise companion to my viscera garden, and then I'll see what I can do with your Baron.
My words will fail her, and she'll just nod.
Lappy,
Yes, ma'am.
did anyone survive the burning of the chantry?
I recently found out that someone did.
Can I get a composure and resolve from you, please?
Yep. Because I think it's appropriate for the scene, I'm not gonna willpower. Two successes.
2 successes to her 5. The outpouring of her presence is mortifying. The shadows extend around her. The trees look 4 times as tall. She becomes this beautiful but dark and terrible creature as she reaches up and grabs you hard around the jaw. If you were mortal, she would have probably dislocated your jaw already. She leans in. Deal with this, or I will feed you to the garden. I do not abide by failure.
Yes, ma'am.
She kisses you on the forehead, and then she reaches in her bag and pulls out a knife and brings it up and cuts the center of her lip and leans in to kiss you on the lips.
I will.
Are you going to refute her putting her blood in your mouth?
No.
And as she kisses you, that vitae that has that warmth of fresh loam soil, that comfortable, silky, that feeling of coming to rest in soft earth washes over you. She says, "You will always belong to me."
Yes, ma'am. Always.
She kind of looks over her shoulder back towards the woods. It's full moon.
That it is.
You want to join me for a rally?
It would be my pleasure.
And as she takes you by the hand back into the woods, we will follow Velasco inside for a moment.
Step through, and as I always do, I'll remove my hat upon entry to the church.
As you move into the church, you see a bunch of faces you don't know. Truly, the only people you do recognize in here are Don, Jessica, and Elliot. You see a bunch more people in kind of their jumper suits. There's about 7 people in here that look like they work at the body shop. You also see 2 men in kind of brown and cream suits in the corner that seem to be having a conversation with one another. And you see Vivian speaking with Elliot near the altar of the church. You see that splayed out on 2 long side-running tables. There are 2 people, assumingly dominated into some sort of half-aware state, that are unclothed, just laying on a white tablecloth, long table, with their arms out to be fed on.
I will make my presence known. I must thank our host for the hospitality before anything. So I will approach Elliot and Vivian.
Elliot looks over. Well, my, if it is not Mr. Velasco. Welcome
Pleasure
in.
as always, Minister. And I'll give a small bow.
Says, I was just catching up with your darling Sai here, talking about the winds of change and what they might bring.
Is that correct? How does Vivian look tonight? Is she still herself, like animalistic and?
She is down on the balls of her feet and her knuckles, but she doesn't look nearly as dirty. She doesn't look nearly as kind of cagey. Other than her posturing, you couldn't really tell.
Madam, it's a pleasure as always. I have missed you.
She picks her hand up off the floor and holds it up for you to kiss the back of her hand.
I'll do so with eagerness.
And she looks over at Elliot. You understand, I trained this boy right fine. I told you he'd be good for you in your domain, and have I not delivered, Elliot? Elliot smiles. Well, of course you have, Vivian. I never doubted for a moment your word. You've always been one of the few kindred amongst this contemptible, damnable city that I could rely upon for truly upstanding stalwartness and the quality of your word. She just looks up at him. You talk too much. Give me a minute with the boy. Elliot nods. Feel free to feed yourself at your whimsy, Velasco. It is undue to come to a potluck and not have a plate of supper.
Your hospitality is duly appreciated, Minister, and always remember.
He nods and heads off to talk to Jessica. So Vivian looks you up and down. You look shaken.
I find myself at my very close, at the very least, at my limit. People are testing my patience tonight.
Well, it is iron that sharpens iron and stone that sharpens stone, my son.
Indeed. How are you this evening?
I'm beginning to reconsider the amount that I sequestered you from the city in your upbringing, but I'm well. I figure I did you a disservice, son.
Never. Not once.
I did not prepare you properly for these... What shall I say? These antics.
It's not a lack of preparation on your part. Admittedly, it is my own shortcomings. I see the world and how things should be. A sort of primal hierarchy. And people don't seem to understand. And I find that difficult to reconcile with. The games, talking sideways, not saying what they mean, loaded words and veiled threats. I find it ill-suited for all of this society.
There are stories from my sire, and back on, so forth and so on, about a place our clan held in the old country. I know that you see these trivializations as something these other kindred get up to, but not quite us. And I can tell you for a fact that is not a correct interpretation. When Clan Samis were the undisputed rulers of everything from Wallachia to the Rus, we were still killing each other and playing games. It was all politics. See which dragon could breathe the hottest fire.
Suppose that is true in some sense. But is that not why we are anarch? Is that not why we are free?
In those days, there were no Camarilla or Anarchs. They were all just kindred. They were free, rulers of their own dimensions, lords of the land, dragons of the sky. And yet still these games were played. Does make one wonder. Perhaps our connection and my upbringing robbed you of some preparedness for this.
I don't feel robbed, ma'am. I feel ambitious. Twice tonight, my dominion, my expertise has been questioned. And I am not free. I am not without fault. But if someone wants to question me, I see no problem with correcting them. I see no problem with showing my expertise. But this polite society, these games, they limit me in this fashion. And so, if a game must be played, I simply will learn the rules and be the best player.
A part of being the best player at a chess table is deception, Velasco. I tell you what a Nosferatu pack-mate of mine told me when I was coming up. He said, I think it's funny that after my embrace I got these big floppy bloodhound ears, and he did, let me tell you, it was like watching Dumbo. They were floating all the way halfway down to her nipples, poor soul. But everyone laughed, made great fun, stuck many jokes. I even heard that the Tremere of a different pack would poke her with needles when she wasn't looking, trying to get her blood, demeaning her to the point of just an experiment. But you know what happened to that Tremere?
Do tell.
She poked her with a needle one last time before my good friend Charisse turned around and ripped her in two with her bare hands. Let them underestimate you. Let them poke their fun, make their jokes. You think I don't know how many of these kindred call me an animal? But lest they be surprised when this animal bears fang.
If I do right by you, you'll never have to. Anyone calls you an animal in my presence, no games, no polite society will save them.
You'll learn one day. You're still quite young. But I respect your fire. You know that. I always have. That's why I picked you. Because you burn and you burn and you burn until there ain't nothing left to give.
I burn for a purpose, ma'am. I burn for you. I burn for this land. It's all I need to keep kindled.
Where are we with the evaluation of dear Elliot? Do you think he means to make a move yet?
I think he's still playing his own game. He saw fit to gather me up and loop me in as a coterie with his own child. She is something else, I must say.
I've heard.
Quite intoxicating. If a bit, well, you can smell the poison in the drink. But I don't
And
think that would stop most men from drinking anyway.
Nothing stops most men.
I think she can be a valuable resource in my endeavors.
Can we turn her against him, do you think?
That remains to be seen. But if there is a single crack, a single break, a single hole in the facade, I will find it.
As you well should.
I find most interest in the other two. Their connections, the way they operate is sporadic. It's ill-refined. They don't work well in a team, I don't think. None of them do. Ironically enough, I find myself ready to offer a guiding hand.
And how far would you go? If I could teach you... If I could teach you how to bind them together inexorably and you to them, would you do it?
They're under my care. I've said as much. If this would be the best path forward, then let us be one.
She leans in. I learned the rite of the vernaculum as a pack priest. I will teach it to you if you have any indication that they would drink.
Let me test those waters, but of that I am very interested. And speaking of your time as a pack priest, I've learned something very troublesome.
And what's that?
Severina has been near the city.
That is a problem, but one that I will deal with personally. Waste not a...
I'm uncertain if she still remains, but I thought you should know.
The earth and the air and the fury of the storms will tell me if she's here. And if she is, I will deal with it expediently. You keep your eyes on Elliot. And this... He called it vice. You keep your eyes on that.
Yes, ma'am.
Now go on. That thin blood over there's been looking out the side of her eye at you. What's her story?
I'll look in the direction she's gesturing.
Jessica.
Thought so. Oh, I think she might fancy me. Or at the very least, she finds me fancy.
I can't tell if she wants to eat you or fuck you.
Maybe a bit of both.
That does seem to be the bug going around. Minister
Indeed.
domains.
Indeed. But I will do as you say.
She
I hope
kind
you find the rest of your evening pleasurable, ma'am.
of combs her fingers through your hair. And as her thumb moves over your temple, a vision is imparted to you. A vision of 4 lupines standing outside of Vivian's barn out in the woods. And her standing up and holding her hand out and forcing them all back into human shape. She just smiles and gestures away.
My eyes will linger on her for a long time before I move from this spot.
In that moment, we'll go back over to Omen and Lark and the steamy aftermath of the office. Condensation clinging to the glass windows.
Still at 2 hunger. Because I forgot to roll for Blush of Life.
Heard.
As soon as it's over, Lark will begin putting on clothes right away, almost methodically, like Lark does this a lot. And with her back to Omen, she'll say, I think my daddy's up to some naughty business.
Yes. Mhm.
Are you alright, Omen? Cat got your tongue.
Dog. Yeah.
Omen's just kind of sitting there.
Was it... You didn't like it?
No.
I mean, there's a first time for everything. It'd be the
Yes.
first time I heard that, but...
Loud. It's loud.
I was too loud. Well, someone once did call me a roller coaster because the harder I ride, the louder they scream.
No.
And Omen's gonna start trying to look for clothes. But there's none in here.
Can I roll any? Because I don't know. Can I roll any kind of insight roll into trying to figure out what the hell's wrong with Omen? If I broke him?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
You broke a toy.
What should I? Is that a cult? What is that?
This is one of the rare times that I think I would actually ask for 2 skills here. I think
Ooh, I love it. I love a double skill roll. Yeah.
I think it's gonna be Insight Occult.
Yeah, that's a shit cast roll for me, honestly. 2 successes.
2 successes, I will say, is enough. You've been around Omen for longer than any of the other kindred in your coterie or domain, other than Elliot, really.
Mm-hmm.
You know that it gets difficult for him sometimes. These feral impulses.
She will notice that, and she'll start picking up the flannel or the Omen showed up without a shirt, right?
Yeah, there's no clothes in this office except for the clothes that we came in with.
Well, she will go to the main part of the garage and get a jumpsuit and sort of rip it in half for Omen to wear as sort of a coat.
Thanks.
It's all right, darling. I'm sorry if I did this to you. I wasn't. I just wanted us to have a little fun before we went to church. Because I really don't want to go. But I have to go. And so do you.
Yeah.
Marianne and Jessup got me thinking, saying words to me about stuff. I think that there's more going on with my daddy than I know about. And I need to figure it out. And I think it's probably going to get me killed. So, I thought maybe if you liked me as much as I like you, that if something were to happen, maybe you'd notice. Try and keep me safe.
Stop it.
And Omen's gonna put a hand on her cheek.
He is no good.
Well, I want to find out really how no good he is. Because if he's no good in a way that I like, then it's fine. If he's no good in a way that I don't like, well, then I don't know what I'm gonna do.
What you want?
In a perfect world, I want everything to stay exactly as the same way it's been. I'd like to stay as ignorant as possible in my bliss. But I don't think that that's something I can count on.
No. Yeah.
So unless my daddy insists, I'm going to stay here at the garage with you, and I'm going to text Boa to watch us during the day.
No.
Please, Omen, come on. You
Don't
don't have to be jealous of
Don't. My.
He's real handy. Can help out in the garage. could work for you during the day. I've heard you're looking for someone to work during the day.
Stop it.
No. And she's gonna activate awe again.
All right.
Is it what is
With
what
a
is
2 dice penalty.
I was gonna say, isn't a 3 dice penalty?
It is so.
Hold on. No, it's 3 dice for the other thing.
I
The
forget.
feral impulses for the scene. The gangrel suffers a -3 dice penalty to all rolls involving manipulation and intelligence.
Okay, so not composure or resolve.
Correct.
That seems like an error.
It does, and that's okay in this moment.
That's okay.
We're okay with the small error.
We're okay with a small error here. Everything's fine, guys. It's
I
fine.
rolled five successes with a crit.
Oof.
I forgot I roll well. Like, I roll well when I'm storytelling too. I forgot about that. I don't know what that is.
I touch it with intent comes to mind.
I forgot.
Dude, I forgot.
One with a beast, 2 failures. You guys go over here.
And yeah, no, Lark, you see your presence is definitely on again.
Omen, I really think that it'd just be for the best. He's got my blood running through his veins. He's real handy. Stays hard to tip. He's got it all.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
You know, I ain't one to look a gift horse in the mouth. And I ain't one to forget a favor. Are you hungry?
No. No. Okay. Sure. Just Mm.
You'll have to tell me what clan ministry blood tastes like. I've always wondered.
Lark, you do notice at this point, and maybe it was just coming down from the afterglow, but that feeling of being bonded to Omen is already gone.
It's okay, she still likes him. But she will make a mental note of that. As much as one intelligence will allow her to. And she has one blood potency, so she can have 2 ghouls, just saying. Just, you know, that's just a note for future things.
It's fine.
It's fine. If Lark offers, though, with how badly I roll, I'll do it.
How many rouse checks worth of blood are you taking on?
2.
2 rouse checks, Lark.
Yeah, he'll bite into her arm.
2 hunger.
2 hunger.
Just like the wrist.
Omen, as you feed, this blood feels contrasted in the heights of its light, in the darks of its darkness. It's all extremes. There's no moderation to the flavor of this blood. There's no point where it levels out. As you finish drinking, both of you get another text message on your phones.
He'll lick the wound closed and find out where his phone went and take a look.
The text for you, Omen, is from Dawn. He says, it simply says, "This creepy fuck in a suit looks like he's trying to eat me."
We're on our way. Keep an eye on him. Don't get too far away from Jerry.
Thumbs up emoji, wrench emoji, like piece of wood emoji.
Yeah, you got it. And then he's gonna put his phone away, grab the keys, look at Lark, and kind of put a hand on her cheek again, brush the hair out of her face. Lark, you taste like Lark.
I like that. Taste a lark. I should open a business.
No.
With that,
And Lark will look at her phone too. By the way, almost forgot for a second.
it's a text from Elliot.
Yeah, I
It says,
figured.
"Get here now."
She will send a kissing face emoji.
And as you head to the car, that is where we are going to take our break. And we'll see you on the other side. Hello and welcome back, dear viewers. So we hop back in, not where we left the scene with Omen and Lark getting in the vehicle and heading to the Blood of the Covenant Church. We will pick up with standing in the moonlight, completely free of any garb, both Calliope and Rhododendron, as she runs her fingertips down your chest. I've heard a most distressing rumor, and I'd like you to put it to bed for me if you can. Before I put you to bed, anyway.
Of course.
You've acquired some sort of new companion. You're staying at the college. And they're human?
Oh, well, they're my ghoul.
Good. There were rumors circulating that they had not yet partaken of the blood. I just wanted to clear that up. As her fingers drift down over your chest, over the soft places of your belly, to your very core. And he is not special in any way.
Just he was nothing special before I met him. That's for sure.
And now?
Now he's on the up. That's what I do.
She kind of pulls you closer. The two of your cold skin touching, bathed in this moonlight in this grove. Her black lips breezing over the skin on your shoulder, up the side of your neck to the lobe of your ear. Is he expendable to you?
In what way?
The only way that matters.
I mean, hesitate. I'd like to keep him around. Easy food, easy housing.
That is usually what men are good for. You're so cold with me. Have you not missed my touch?
Of course I have. It just gives me chills. In the best way.
I see. And the rumor that he has some sort of alchemical symbol tattooed on him, that would just be a rumor now, wouldn't it?
Would that mean something to you?
Oh, wow, what a question. Go ahead and give me a wits insight.
Okay, 4.
4 successes.
Let me make a quick roll for her.
There's a spark of something that flashes across her face. Exactly what it is hard for you to decipher. She's the one person that's always kind of had this strange power over you. She says, I don't understand why you can't just answer the question.
Oh, just curious is all. I've never really looked at his body like that.
You haven't used him?
No, haven't felt the need to.
I'd hoped your tastes for mortal flesh would have lingered a bit longer. That is a joy that it is hard to rekindle.
It's not that, I don't think. It's just...
Is he too plain?
The word for it.
Yeah, well. Sometimes I hear them dumb country boys like plain on the outside, but they got a stick that can get the job done. Though you do have a preference for the women. Don't think I haven't noticed.
You got me.
As she lays you down in the cold, dewy grass. Roll me an awareness and occult. I'm going to ask for another double skill roll here.
That is very good. I will happily do that. 7 on a messy critical.
7 on a messy critical. Well, with a messy critical, I actually don't think I'm going to raise your hunger here. I think I'm going to put you under your compulsion.
Oh.
Perfectionism.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
I think that, yeah, 2 dice penalty to all dice pools. Penalty is reduced to 1 when actions are being repeated and removed entirely on the second repeat. This does not end until they manage to score a critical win on a skill roll or the scene ends. So, with that, Calliope, as you look off to the side, engaged in this act of passion with rhododendron, the dew begins to glow, just a very faint, almost absinthe-like green. And I think it dawns on you at this point that you've found the first ingredient to your absinthe. Dew from a moon-soaked glen where you have engaged in an act of passion.
No, she will make a mental note of that, for sure.
And as the nitty-gritty of that scene happens and passes, the two of you laying together there in the grass once the deed is done, and a slight sheen of blood sweat as rhododendron did blush of life. She just combs the hair out of your face. Something has changed between us. It's all right. All childer grow apart from their sire eventually.
I hadn't meant to.
Does the creeper mean to grow away from the oak? It goes where its hunger is sated.
She'll sheepishly kind of nod and look a little a little ashamed in the truth of that.
I hope you are still holding tight to the duty in which I've entrusted to you.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll be in touch soon on how we'll deal with the good doctor.
Yes.
But for now, I do not belong here. This is not my place. I must return to Dalgain.
Not going to stay any longer?
Well, I was not invited. I am not a member of the domain of Kano City.
That's right. How'd you know then?
I have ways.
You always do.
Truth be told, the Baron's modes of communication are not as secure as he believes them to be. Perhaps volunteering that information, make up some little story, it might prove some value to him.
Okay.
She kisses you on the mouth one more time.
Kiss her in kind.
And as the two of you get dressed, you kind of turn to cast a look at her, and she's gone.
Calliope will let out an unnecessary but shuddering breath, look up at the moon, and then in remembering the feeling of perfectionism, remembering the word failure that Rhododendron had said to her earlier, she will start collecting dew from the grass.
Okay. Give me intelligence and survival.
4 successes.
I imagine you're collecting in some kind of mason jar or something or other that you
Yes.
carry with you.
Absolutely.
You get about 3/4 of a quart jar, which is a substantial amount of dew, let us be very clear.
Mhm.
But you know that you're going to need more. You're going to need to engage in these acts under the full moon more often if you have any hope in gathering the amount of dew that you need.
She will. She will. There's no other option.
You're heading back to the church at this point.
Yes.
As you kind of clear the tree line, you see Omen's car pulling up. The Omen and Lark.
I think Calliope will look a little confused, like, oh, they're here late, and then be like, oh, I'm coming out of the woods. That's not weird at all.
Did you get lost, Calliope?
Something like that.
If you needed a ride, you could have said something back at Nexus. I'm sorry, we left in a little bit of hurry.
No, that's all right. I made it here. That's what counts.
Oh, all right. Why didn't Velasco take you? That's, you know what? Well,
I
not my
have my
business.
bike. I was just doing, weird Tremere things. Collecting dew. She'll shake the jar.
I was gonna ask, then I decided I didn't want to know. But that's good to know.
So how late are we?
It's probably a good hour and a half.
Yeah, they've been partying for a minute.
We had something to take care of.
Yeah. Is Dawn doing okay? Have you been inside yet, or?
No,
Oh,
but
sorry,
Dawn
you just
came
showed
to
up.
talk to me.
Never mind. He did.
Dawn came to talk to me. He's real adamant about working on my bike.
He probably had a look at it when he towed it for you. Sorry about that. Yeah. But speaking of that, I would be more than happy to get that all fixed up for you if I can get some of them backstage passes that we talked about.
Yeah, of course. That seems like it's a fair trade.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Well, I suppose we shouldn't keep the Baron waiting.
No, he did send me a rather angry text message because I wasn't right here right when he wanted me to be. But I do like to keep him waiting in anticipation.
We should
He
get
likes it
inside.
too.
We should probably get inside then. Everybody here? Like, taking a look at the cars in the parking lot and seeing.
Yeah, this little grass kind of paddock where people park vehicles. There's not really a parking lot. It's just a roundabout in the drive back. But there's a lot more vehicles than you've ever seen here, including a hearse.
Somebody die? Is that why we're
Sick
here?
ride, if that was not the case.
I mean, probably could use some suspension, but
Oh,
anyway,
All of us died, Omen. And she'll start heading into the church.
real funny lark.
And as you all head into the church, the scene as I had previously described it is laid out before you. There are two long tables where there are nude humans who have been splayed out to be fed upon on each of the tables. It's a classic church fellowship potluck. But as you enter, we're first going to get back to Velasco. And Velasco, you were making your way towards Jessica.
Yes, sir.
And kind of as you approach, Elliot just nods and heads off to keep entertaining guests. Jessica looks up. Well, if it ain't the fancy man.
Miss Jessica, how do you find yourself this evening?
Overworked, underpaid.
I'm very sorry to hear that. Are you not being properly compensated for your time here?
I'm compensated in all the ways that matter, but none of the ways you want.
Ain't that just the way of the world? No, I mean more so, how do you find yourself this evening amongst these people? Is this partial to your preparation?
I mean, there's a lot more Duskborn in this domain than I thought there were, but I don't get out much, I guess.
We should endeavor to fix that, don't you think?
I got too much work to do around here. If I could get out more, I would.
Shortly you could take a single night off. Let me show you the town. Show you the beauties of this area.
No offense, fancy man, I grew up here. I know what the area is, and it's not getting any better. It gets worse by the night.
Well, perhaps, should you ever decide to do so, you can show me the area. And show me the hidden parts that I might have left unturned.
Gladstone Bridge.
Gladstone Bridge.
Yeah, you like it. It's just creepy enough to be creepy, and enough people there that you can, do that thing you do.
Well, that's excellent. I will endeavor to make a visit.
She leans in. I hear you're working with Pete.
I found myself in need of Pete's services, yes.
Yeah, well, just keep an eye on him. He's one of the good ones.
Is he now? I think that might be the first time I've ever heard you compliment someone, Miss Jessica.
He's my stepbrother.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, you can rest assured I'm taking very good care of him. We find ourselves in a very symbiotic relationship. Our businesses are thriving now that he's allowed me to offer my services for his business ventures.
Well, if you don't treat him right, I'm gonna freeze you with something that makes liquid nitrogen look like pussy work.
No, I would very much like to see it, but I don't think it will be necessary anytime soon.
You tell me.
As I say, he is well taken care of. As are all under his employ.
You know, I just can't get a fucking beat on you. What's your fucking deal? Because you give serial killer, but you're talking like a fucking meadowlark. So I don't understand.
Well, I'm very much an open book. Been told it's a flaw of some sorts. What questions do you have for me, Miss Jessica?
I mean,
suppose-
exactly what I said. What's your fucking deal?
In so many words, I endeavor to see this land return to what I know it could be, and all the denizens thereof where they should be.
Oh, come on. You can't be that old. You sound like a
I'm
fucking
older.
Whitman poem.
I'm older than I look, Miss Jessica.
All right.
But as far as my deal, I found myself in collaboration with many different operations and individuals in this area. Making friends. Been told it's good for you.
I can't tell if I find you extremely annoying or somewhat charming.
Let's err on the side of caution and say both then. I told you I might grow on you.
She kind of looks around. Do you know why Elliot called this fucking meeting?
No, I imagine, from what I've been told, it's sort of meetup. A gathering of those in his domain in order to get to know one another. Make friends, like I said. But I am imagining that there might be something beneath the surface that he has planned. A show of his indomitable power or omniscience.
Yeah, that sounds about right. It's never just what's on the surface with him.
That is the unfortunate truth of most men.
I think you'll find that. No, I wouldn't. I think most men, what you see is what you get. But
Depends on
that's
how you
neither
look
here
at
nor
things.
there. Maybe not fancy men.
Well, either way, I hope that you are finding your time here enjoyable. And if not, you may find me drifting from conversation to conversation should you need me. Should you need an escape of some sort, I will happily take a walk with you.
Yeah, I'll let you know. Hey, quick question. I saw you do some shit with your blood in the dirt the last time you were here.
Yes.
Look, I don't know any other way to ask this than to just go for it. What the fuck was that about?
I was merely attuning myself to the land. I stick to the forest. I stick close to the wilder parts. Coming out this way among civilized folk, I felt the need to acquire, to taste, to make myself acquainted with the area.
Couldn't you just ask somebody?
It's not the same. With the land, whether people be on it or it is paved over with asphalt, the land speaks to me much better, much clearer.
No offense, Chief. And she just kind of pats you on the shoulder. Sounds like you got a problem listening to people, then.
I've been told I'm a bit socially awkward for some folks.
I can tell you that was them just trying to spare your feelings, bud. And she heads off to another conversation as you see the door opens and Lark, Omen, and Calliope enter the church.
Swing my arms out wide and just call out across the church, "My friends!"
So much for a quiet interest. Hey, Velasco!
Mr. Ullman, still without a shirt, I see. I'll make
This
my way.
counts. This technically counts. All right, it's a jumper. Now, I don't know. Jacket. We'll go with jacket.
You should be showing off those pecs anyway.
You say so.
I believe I just did.
Omen will unbutton the jacket. You seen Dawn? And Omen's kind of getting closer to Velasco. The walking and talking through the crowd.
Yeah, it's striding over. He'll point Dawn out. Mr. Dawn informed us he was one of yours.
Yeah. Apparently there's some smarmy bastard in a suit eyeing him up like a meal, so...
Yeah, and you see Don is in the corner talking to two dudes in kind of brown and cream suits.
There they are.
Lark, do you
you
follow Omen's Island?
Sure.
Roll me a composure and resolve, please.
Why?
That's a great question. That's a neat question
I
there.
don't wanna.
What if?
What an odd
Fine.
thing! What an odd
We
thing
don't.
to ask me to do. Like, the fuck?
Leave my thin bloods alone.
4 successes.
Um,
But just test 12, guys. I'm sorry.
you can manage to keep the shock on your face from fully manifesting. But you see standing next to this sort of tall, red-haired gentleman who's very thin in the cream suit, you see someone, and for a moment, it's that feeling of just looking familiar before a memory dawns on you of your time as a mortal. A rare memory. You don't have many of these. Being very young and your father coming to get you from your mother's house, and the two of them arguing. I mean, you must have been maybe 6 or 7, and she was pregnant, and your parents had just split up, and you remember hearing them arguing, and him saying, "I'm just gonna take Lark and go." And you remember from there he never came back home. He got an apartment, and your mom had a son, Matthew. And you see him now much older than the last time you'd seen him. He's probably 21, 22. His brown hair is curly, which neither of your parents have curly hair. He has green eyes, a very effortless smile on his face as he nods in this conversation with Dawn. He's a little bit heavier in build, but it's definitely your half-brother.
Question aside, does Lark look, even though she shouldn't be, look like reasonably younger than him? Well,
I mean, yes, at this point.
great. Yeah. Lark's gonna head over there with Omen then. Not say anything.
Yeah, Laura. Omen's gonna keep pace, and kind of just look back at Velasco and Calliope. I gotta take care of this real quick. If you want to come with or wait.
Happy to be of service if you need my assistance.
Good to know. Dawn, where you fucking been? And just
Dawn turns around. We all got called over here. Omen, there was nothing. You were the one who told us if they came a calling, we had to answer.
you call me though. Excuse me, gentlemen. So sorry to interrupt the conversation. I need to talk to my man here.
And the taller gentleman just shakes his head. Says, "No, it's quite fine. take your time. Well, we're gonna be here for a minute. And your brother looks at you, Lark, and his eyes go wide. He got a singular success on his composure, so
Super.
he's just standing there shocked as Omen sides off with Dawn, and the taller man looks over to you. Sorry, I don't think we met. My name's Adam Milliner.
Adam Milliner.
Yeah.
That is an interesting name. Would Lark possibly have ever heard of the Hecata before?
Give me an intelligence and occult roll, please.
That's just a dog shit roll. That's 200. That's for me to roll.
Yep.
That's 1 success.
You've heard of the Hecata, but nothing that would point out a bloodline. Yeah.
Adam Milliner. Well, it's nice to meet you. Can I ask what you are doing here at my daddy's church?
Oh, well, Elliot and I, we have a business arrangement. I work down the river a ways in a funeral home, and when certain corpses need taken care of, I offer my services gladly and with an open heart.
You're the one who brought the hearse.
Yes, that would be mine. We are undertakers by profession.
She'll look at Matthew.
Oh, forgive me. This is my apprentice undertaker, is Matthew Stone.
Yes. I believe that we are kinfolk. And she'll hold her hand out to Matthew and say, "My name is Lark Stone."
And you feel a mental knocking at the door as he reaches out to take your hand. And he says, in your mind, "What's going on here, sis?" And his face is just a pleasant smile. Yeah, he is engaged telepathy.
She'll respond, "Just keep your cool, baby brother. No one needs to know how close we really are."
Okay. I thought you died.
Yes, well, now's not the time to talk about all that. And I did, for your information.
Sorry that happened to you. And meanwhile, he just shakes your hand and smiles and politely nods. And Adam says, You must be one of Elliot's childer. He's spoken very fondly of you in private conversation."
He hasn't spoken of you at all, unfortunately.
Well, you know how it is. The business around the disposal of corpses is quite unpleasant to talk about. I can't fault a man for not wishing to speak on it openly.
Well, I've started to realize, Mr. Milliner, that there's a lot that goes on in my daddy's domain that I don't know a whole lot about. And, I'm coming of age now. I'm a big girl now, and I think I should start getting into the nitty-gritty of things.
I mean, sure, it could really only help.
So I would love to have a conversation about exactly what you do for my daddy, when, where, and why you do it.
Our business is a little ways down the river in Rand, which Rand is a small township about 20 minutes drive outside of Kanoa city limits, and it is on the other side of the river as well. He says, and when a body needs disposed of, I come and get it for Elliot in exchange for Rand to be a place where my kinfolk and I, the Hakata, can do our business unabated.
Oh. Well, I suppose that makes sense. You're one of the clan of death.
Yes. And though there are not many of us, I do owe something of an allegiance to your good father for honoring the bargain that we made many years ago.
That's so interesting. I'm going to have to ask my daddy about that. How often would he possibly need your disposal services, Mr. Milliner?
Not much as of late, but back in the 80s, we had to do a lot of work together. There was quite a bit of bloodshed in Conway City between, I think. You just looked at the books the other day, Matthew. What was it? And Matthew, takes a moment. It's 86 to 88, I believe. Just that sounds about right. Between 86 and 88, there was a pretty big turf battle, I think, and there were a lot of civilian casualties. So,
thank you, Matthew. That's very interesting to me. I won't bother you with too much more questions. One, though, just crossed my mind. These disposals, these bodies that you need to pick up, do you pick them up from right here at Blood of the Covenant Church?
rarely, if ever. We usually do on-site pickup.
On-site pickup. My dad is usually there. Or does he
Sometimes-
just call you and let you know that there is a errant body that needs to be disposed of?
Well, we did some work with, I assume your broodmate Randall back in the 80s and the 90s. Randall was usually always there to oversee pickup and disposal and that sort of thing. And recently, I mean, we haven't had much call. I mean, we picked up that one body back in 2008, and really it's been relatively simple since then.
Well, thank you for all of your information, Mr. Milliner, Mr. Stone.
What a
I
coincidence.
would. It is, but we do have a saying here in Charleston that all the stones are related because we all be rolling together. I'm sure, Matthew, you've heard it. But I would love, Matthew, if we could saddle off somewhere and maybe we could compare family albums. Not literally, of course, but see exactly where we fit on the tree together.
Oh, well, I'd be happy to part with Matthew's company for a moment, because we keep it in the family as well. So
I have heard that about you.
It is it's quite fine. I think this would be an excellent expenditure of Matthew's time this evening.
Well, howdy. Come on, Matthew.
And as you side off with him, Dawn, Calliope, and Omen and Velasco have a moment.
As they've been walking back to Velasco and Calliope, like Omen's got that serious face on. It's just like,
So you're right. Like, what
Yeah,
happened with that?
I don't know what that guy's fucking deal was, but he looks so hungry.
What did I tell you guys about when you go out in public? Like your buddy system. Where the fuck is Jerry?
Well, I'm not supposed to talk about it.
You're not supposed to talk about it.
Yeah, I'm not supposed to talk about it.
Says fucking who?
Jerry and Sandy have been hooking up for a while, and they didn't want to make a big deal out of it because we all work together. And I caught them fucking in the broom closet like a week ago, and I think this is really good for Jerry. This is the first sober woman he's ever been with, and I think that's a step in the right direction for him.
yeah, the 6 orders that are backed up certainly say so. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's also kind of my fault a little bit.
You were also in the broom closet?
No, Omen, something's going on with me. I don't know. I went to that Chevelle we've been working on.
Yeah, what about it?
I was trying to take some of the compression parts out of the engine, and I bent it with my bare hands.
I mean, that's new.
Yeah, so I'm kind of waiting on a compression disc for a 64 Chevelle, and I think we're gonna have to go to one of them custom shops over in South Charleston.
We'll just lift it off somebody else's truck, okay? I ain't worried about that.
Well, I did kind of call Janky already to see if he had one, and he said, "I'll find one."
And he will.
Oh, hey,
How much
hey,
it's gonna cost.
who are your friends here? Oh, yeah, I met them earlier, but I didn't know they were your friends until they said they were your friends. And I'm sorry, I'm just real nervous.
You have to take and just relax a little bit. I'm not gonna let anyone eat you here.
All right.
Velasco, you're not gonna eat Don, right? Calliope? No.
Not a
I
current.
know the
Nope.
appetite for it.
I don't like how you just had to think about that, Calliope. I'm gonna be real honest, that was a little concerning. But alright.
Yep, I'm totally at home here.
If it makes you feel any better, I would at least ask first.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
Anyway, but yeah, Jerry and Sandy are out in the car fucking, I think.
Alright. Well, as long as they're buddy system, which means you
Did
stick
you
around.
need them, Omen?
What?
Did you need them at current? I can always make myself available
No,
to deliver a
no.
message.
no,
They'll be fine. It's just I don't like you guys and like looking at Dalton, I don't like you guys wandering around.
I mean, we're trying not to, but I mean, this whole place is full of thick bloods, man. I don't know what you want from me.
I just told you. This is the same thing as the eye conversation. I need you to listen
Oh,
to the
hey,
words coming out of my mouth.
And he reaches in the pocket of his jumper and pulls out a wad of papers and hands them to you. A guy came over with that application, and his first reference is from Carrie.
I'm shoving that in his jacket pocket. Okay.
Seems important.
Nope.
He's got
Not right now.
he's got day shift availability.
Hmm.
Oh, is that right?
This is definitely not the place or time to talk about this.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
There we go. We're shutting the fuck up.
Omen,
seemed
if you were in need of clientele, I could reach out to my contacts and maybe get you a proper day shift.
actually, that'd be helpful. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
I'll see what I can find. Of course, I'll have them submit resumes. I don't want to have to ask for charity for these individuals. They should be
No,
held to the standard of which your fine business holds.
Honestly, I don't know how much either of you have mingled with people, but I know that you had a bunch of stuff happen with your people, Glappy. So if you need anything, like paperwork, IDs...
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, check this out. And Don reaches in his wallet and pulls out his fake ID. He says, "Look, my last name's Suarez." I thought that was super neat, man.
Suarez. I think you might be able to pass for a Suarez.
Yeah, Don Suarez. That's me, baby. I got a mortgage, bitch. He tucks it in his pocket.
It's a fine name. Would we have noticed Omen absconding with this Hakata?
Or Lark, rather?
I'm sorry, not
We're
Omen.
two
Yes,
separate
Lark.
people. Just because the blood bond doesn't mean
Oh my
we're
god,
the
just because we're like
individual.
kind of dating or whatever right now.
And
it's
connected
really
at the
rude.
hip. I apologize. My bad.
Oh my god.
You can
fine.
roll me what's an awareness. Anyone
It's
can
a
roll me what's an awareness.
retractable leash. Thank you very much.
Now we need to get Huddy a dog
Absolutely.
clicker. Two chronicles with a dog clicker.
I have one. I have 3.
Love it.
Woof.
Yes.
Huddy has dogs, guys. Let's let's make that clear to her.
Oh, but also, Huddy has one dog. Let's make that very clear.
They have different colors. I like the different colors.
Are they all attached to different carabiners? I gotta know.
They are. They surely are.
That would be 2 successes.
2 successes?
I also got 2 successes.
2 successes? Fair enough.
Omen, excellent at rolling dice. Let's go.
I'm so good at stuff. And awareness.
Adelaide actually rolls great. Just saying.
Adelaide rolls so well. I love her. She's a little serial killer. Oh no.
Omen's cursed.
Mm-hmm.
I got a secret.
Okay. And all of you do notice that Lark is siding off with one of these gentlemen in their brown and cream suits.
Well,
All
it
right,
seems
Dawn. Oh,
Ms. Locke
sorry.
found herself a friend. Please continue.
No, I want to know what their names are and who they're with. Did you get that, Don? Or did
Yeah,
you stare at them all wide-eyed? This is
yeah.
why people think you're prey.
No,
I just need you to know that.
I got the guy over there's name. He said his name's Adam Milliner.
Would that ring a bell?
Intelligence plus occults around.
You got another
rolled
bestial
2.
failure?
Let my 2 hunger die.
God damn it.
I'm getting rid of all of you. They
3,
fail.
5, and a bestial failure. Well, Omen is going to break from this conversation and go chase down Lark.
No words.
with a 3, Velasco, you know that milliners are a part of the Hecata, and were previously unaware as to any Hecata presence here in Kanawa City. With 5, Lark, you know that the milliners are the grudge keepers. Their function within the Hecata is to keep tracks of rights and wrongs and to pass them off to be punished if they do not do the punishing themselves. They are the arm of the Hecata that does the most fucking with other people.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh, Omen, did you need some assistance?
Nope.
There he goes.
Don's
So
like,
listen.
yep, that's our boss.
Solus, if you would be so kind as to accompany them, just quietly, carefully, and preferably unseen. We'll lean down and hopefully let Solus scurry after Omen.
He does so in an expedient manner, keeping to the shadows.
I love him.
And Don says, "Was that a fucking ferret? I love ferrets, man. I used to have a bunch as a kid.
Golden mongoose, actually.
So like a big ferret.
You could make the comparison, yes.
Nice.
Well, since your buddy system is currently failing, Don, would you like to accompany me as I make my rounds?
I mean, I can,
Unless you-
sure.
Unless you'd like to accompany Miss Rose.
I
Miss
mean,
Rose, would that be amenable to you?
I could go either way.
there's some weird tension between the two of you. Do you know that?
I had
Call
noticed.
call it ancient history.
I don't know what the fuck's happening here.
Just well enough. Ms. Rose, you may find me if you need me. I would like to have another conversation, or at the very least finish the one we started before we were rudely interrupted by your sire.
I'll kind of be like, kind of look around. Anyone hear that? And be like, of course.
Find me as you need me, and I will. Out of character. I don't want to take away from anybody. Did anyone? Well, did Calliope want to go talk to the cicada?
Calliope's just gonna watch the fireworks go off. Honestly, this looks entertaining.
Perfect.
Then Velasco
Don's
will
gonna
approach.
love this shit.
Yeah. Don, just not knowing what to do, just goes over and like stands by one of the bodies on the table and just kind of holds their hand.
Yeah, Velasco will approach the Hakata.
As Velasco approaches the Hakata, Calliope, you're standing there watching Velasco move, and you hear over your shoulder, "Well, that's gonna happen."
Look over my shoulder.
And you see they have to be a part of Clan Nosferatu. He's tall and waifishly thin. He looks like he's been stretched with a taffy puller. I mean, even to the point that like his legs and his arms have a sense of like flatness to the surface of them. And he's got big old bat-like ears and a kind of bulbous nose, and the fangs coming out of, they poke past his closed lips and they kind of curve outwards away from each other. So you're a watcher too, huh?
When it suits me.
I hear our Baron's a watcher. And you didn't hear that from me.
Oh. Scandalous. Alright.
I don't think he thinks it's scandalous. I mean,
This day and age,
yeah, I mean, cucking's mainstream.
True. Sure enough.
You're Calliope Rose.
I am. How astute. Who might you be?
Well, my voice changed and got really weird after my embrace, so a lot of people just call me Beavis. But yeah.
That's not your actual name, though.
No, but I do think it's funny and I do like the show,
Okay.
so I kind of go with it.
Alright, well, as long as you like it, Beavis.
Every now and again, I'll be like, huh, cool. And people laugh. I was a stand-up comedian. I also don't know how to talk to people really, unless I'm on stage.
I can understand that sentiment. Being on stage is a whole other world.
It's like you're a little god for a minute.
I like that.
Do you know what this is about? Because like I had shit to do tonight, and I would really like to get back to it.
I just heard that the Baron wanted us all to get to know each other.
Sounds like bullshit.
Well, till we find out something deeper.
I heard that he's making some kind of political move.
Ooh, of what variety?
Whoever fucking knows with this guy.
You gotta know something.
I mean, I know what I heard, but you can't always trust what you hear.
Well, what'd you hear?
I heard he's trying to take territory across the river. That he's trying to push the cam out of Riverview. That's what I heard.
Huh.
Which is gonna suck. Because we're gonna have to fight again.
Yeah, that is usually how that goes.
And you see out of one of his ears, a centipede crawls out of his ear and up around his head and then back in through under his eyelid.
She just blinks, but does not say anything.
Sorry, that was Remy. He likes to come out sometimes. But I call him Butthead because it gets the Beavis thing going.
Right, no, that makes sense. I like that. That's really cute. I mean, the crawling thing was less cute, but, you know.
It's a good joke.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I know you live on campus.
You must know a lot about me.
No, I mean, I've just seen you around. It's kind of what I do. I go places and I see people and I write it down mentally, not in real life, because, you know, that would be like a breach of the Masquerade or whatever.
Yeah, that would not be wise. What else do you know about me?
Stuff that you don't want other people to know.
Interesting. I suppose that's a conversation for another day.
Yeah. Just like put a red light in your window sometime and I'll come in and talk.
Okay. Yeah.
Promise you won't try and kill me?
But if you don't try to kill me,
No, that's not fair.
it's the definition of fair.
No, but if I wanted to kill you, I would want you to not try and stop me.
Well, I can't help you with that. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh well. You
Well,
win some, you lose some.
such is life. It was lovely to meet you, Beavis.
Yeah. Hang tight or whatever.
Yep. I will put that light in the window one night.
I know.
Cool. All right.
And
I'll
he,
just-
like, walks backwards into the shadow and disappears.
Yeah, as he does that, Clive, he will just be like, okay, and turn our attention to where Omen stormed off to.
Yes. Speaking of, Lark, where are you taking Matthew?
I imagine I know this is not a Catholic church, but I imagine there's some vestibule somewhere, or at least, where they keep no, they probably do baptisms in the river, don't they?
They do. But
Yeah.
there is a green room
There.
behind the chapel.
Yeah.
And as you kind of go into the green room, this kind of dilapidated, antiquated sort of sitting room, Matthew says, what are you... I thought you didn't want people to ask questions. Now you're bringing me back here?
It's all right. No one's going to be paying attention right here. But let's talk in your special way.
So you just want to stand here and stare at each other for a minute?
I surely do. And she picks up a Bible and holds it out as if they're both reading it.
Rouse check for him. He does not get any hungry.
I don't actually remember who you are, at least not until I saw your face. Who am I to you?
You really mean that?
I really do.
You sense a bit of trepidation in the connection before a very deep empathic feeling of like hurt. You're my sister, Lark. I don't know what you want me to say.
Yes, I understand that, and I am not trying to hurt your feelings by saying this. I am trying to express to you that I didn't remember I had a brother until I walked into this church and saw your face.
Yeah, well, with the stories that I heard about your sire, it makes a bit of sense.
I'd like to hear those stories as quick and succinctly as you can, please, or however you say that word.
Succinct.
That sounds about right.
Did he make you stupid?
Maybe. Was I not stupid when you knew me?
No. You were helping me get through high school. I was about to fail. Hell, you were going to college. You had a life.
Did I?
Yeah. And that's when the door bursts open.
Hey, so what's going on here?
Jesus Christ, man.
No, that's the main floor where everybody should be. Hi, Lark. You all right?
I'm doing just fine, Omen. Are you all right?
Yeah, why wouldn't I be? Who are you?
And he kind of looks to you, Lark.
You can trust him.
And he kind of stands up and straightens his jacket a little bit and straightens his tie. So, I'm Matthew Stone. I'm Lark's brother.
I'm Omen. It's a pleasure to meet you.
That's not your name. I know your name.
Omen's just gonna hold on to his hand and squeeze a little bit tighter.
It's
yeah?
all right. It's all right.
And what's my name?
Look, man, we don't gotta do this. We've heard about you. That's all.
Hey, you keep saying we,
Uh,
and
my-
then you know my name.
My sire and I,
I don't know, which is why I'm asking.
we have information.
You are not helping your case here.
I don't know. What do you want, man?
Why do you know my name? Who's been talking about me?
Nobody's been talking about you. A lot of your family's been talking around you.
Someone's gonna drop his hand. Which one?
I think you know.
Once again, son, I don't know, which is why I'm asking.
You should catch up with your uncle sometime. He's sick. He's dying.
No,
I think it's at that point Omen realizes that it's actually been years since he's talked to his uncle.
Yeah, he's got a little group he's running with now, and they're starting to get some traction. It's not as bad as I don't know, a robbery at a train yard from the Second Inquisition a few nights ago, but they're getting almost as bad. They're getting organized. Yeah, it's not good.
no, it's not.
I have a question.
Sure.
Can the mongoose relay information back to me? Let's go.
It can't give, so because I don't have Feral Whispers, it can't give like complex things. It's really up to the storyteller what I'd be able to glean from this as Solus listens.
It would be more empathic resonance of what was happening, the feelings of the conversation, not really the words.
Yeah, so out of character, I was just hoping to get like who this is to Lark. Yeah, but to be determined, I guess. We'll see how well Solus and I communicate.
Just curious. Matthew, thank you for the information that you've given me. I have a lot of holes. I think it's like Swiss cheese up in here.
Yeah. Yeah. Just, we stay really busy, but if you've got time, I can make time.
Yeah, I think I'd like that.
Mom's worried sick. You haven't called in years.
Yeah, I know.
And listen, I know she's a bitch. And that she ain't never done really nothing for either of us, but she's getting old now, and you know how old people get sentimental.
Yeah, I've heard that, but you and I, we ain't getting old, are we?
We might play our cards right. That's what Adam said anyway.
You should go back to him, Matthew. But,
Did you know we had, I guess on Dad's side, your dad, my dad's side, I guess, and on our mom's side too, there must be, because he keeps saying that I kind of don't usually have kids with people outside the clan. This might
Hey,
be
Matt.
something worth looking into. Just saying.
So, Matthew, one of the tricks to getting old is knowing when to talk and when not, and this is not the place to do it, but why don't you stop by my shop?
Maybe. Yeah. Tonight, I know after this, Adam and I, we got some shit we gotta handle. Over at Rand. But I'll keep you updated.
Before he leaves, Lark will just offhandedly say, "What was that studying, Matthew?"
And he smiles. Sociology. He wanted to be a social worker. You used to say that you wanted to just help people up out of the mud.
We'll talk real soon, Matthew.
I guess. It's nice to meet you, Owen.
It's good to meet you too, Matthew.
Matt. You can just call me Matt. Adam's the only one who calls me Matthew.
Yeah. Matt.
And he leaves and shuts the door behind him.
No, I don't want to talk about it. I don't know what's going on with your family business either. I think it's time we see the Baron. Because if I get any more revelations tonight, I think I might literally explode.
We're gonna talk about it though. Just not now.
No, not now. And she will pull out her phone and she will text Boa, because I forgot to do it, to meet them at the auto body shop.
You get a text back pretty quickly. You got it. Finishing up a work thing, and then I'll be there.
Well, I don't like that.
And as you all head back out into the chapel, we'll go ahead and go over very quick to Velasco speaking with Adam. As you approach, he says, "Well, I'll be. I heard there were Coldens on this side of the river, but I'd never
One
dared
of
hope
the
to
very
leave."
few. I had not heard that there were Hakata in the area.
Yeah, we're across the river over in Rand, but we're close by. There are a lot of spots to get out of the mainstream around here, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely, well, that's certainly good to know. Welcome. I'm afraid, apologies. Velasco is what people call me. If we're going for official titles, Velasco Zavala Osorio Lozano. Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
I got some family that got a lot of names like that. They're just a different bloodline. My name's Adam Milliner.
Adam Milliner. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Yeah, you too, man. Sorry, I really, I'm really off my game tonight. I got a lot of bodies to prep for funerals this weekend, and
Quite all right. I just simply wanted to make your acquaintance, make myself known is all.
yeah,
And knowing that you're also close, hopefully you might see more of me.
yeah. If you ever find yourself over in Rand, Chastity and Sons is the funeral home we run. That was my
Chastity and
father's name.
Sons.
Yeah, that was my father's name, Chastity Milliner.
Chastity and Sons, absolutely. I will definitely make a stop by. Tell me, is your associate, the one who went off with my coterie mate, part of Chastity and Sons? Is he yours?
Yeah, he's my broodmate. We came here. Well, he was here, but my sire and I came here, and my sire took quite a shine to him, and we checked his pedigree, so to speak, and we found the blood that we needed. So
Excellent. Careful now. Seems Miss Locke has taken quite a shine to him as well, and that's what makes bad in and of itself.
anything that we can do to serve the Baron and his brood is, I think, our part of our obligation in the agreement that we made.
Well, that's just quite dandy.
At
Have
that
you had
point,
anything to drink?
oh yes. Though I bring my own refreshments, and he reaches in his jacket and he pulls out a vial of black ichor.
Quite
This is-
curious.
I rather exclusively feed from ectoplasm these nights.
Is that right?
I
You
find
find
it
that is
to be the more
enjoyable?
humane option. Well, enjoyable. I tend to perish the thoughts of my own enjoyment as to what is humane.
That's quite responsible.
When one works around the dead so much as we want to find a certain attunement to the spiritual realm and allowing spirits to labor and languish in torment, that simply will not do.
I couldn't agree more myself. I find myself as a spiritual man as well. I think you and I could, given more official, or perhaps even less official circumstances, you and I could have quite a conversation.
Just conversation. He looks you up and down.
Well, that depends on how well the conversation goes, I suppose.
My door's always open. You're welcome. That is a thing for you folks, isn't it?
Yes, we tend to take manners quite seriously, and if I may say so, you're doing quite well for being off your game, as you say.
Well, you should see me when I'm on.
I'd certainly intend to.
As the doors open and Lark and Omen come out of the green room, Elliot kind of postures himself up towards the altar and clears his throat. Well, my assembled kindred of Conway City, I do believe we have socialized as socialites quite enough. Let me hearken to your ear the reason for which you have all been gathered on this fine evening. There are two reasons in together, but we shall start with the more palatable and less exciting of the two. I wouldn't want everyone to get all riled up and then have to stay for another explanation, of course. It doesn't do well to hold such bottled passions within the church, rather open the doors and let them flow free into the streets. He says, I would like my dear child Lark and her coterie to come front and center, please, if y'all mind. Let the folks see your shining, beautiful faces.
Omen hasn't left Lark's side and is just trudging behind her.
Lark will pull her Omen forward and loop arms with Velasco and sort of like nod to Calliope to like loop arms with Omen, so like we all walk up as a group.
Play along.
Do it for the phone.
Yeah.
Yep.
Smile, be a happy family.
Yes, and Lark will literally say, "Smiles, everyone."
He kind of takes a few steps down the stairs so he can be slightly taller than the rest of you and put his hands on Lark's shoulders as he smiles. He says, and with the addition of one kindred soon to come, this coterie here that I have assembled for the great purpose of tracking down this vile street drug. I'm sure you've all heard of it. They call it vice out there on the street, a shameful, shameful thing. All of you will make yourselves available to this coterie should they have any questions, comments, concerns, or maybe even personal attacks levied in your direction. That is their singular purpose as coterie, is to find the source of this vile substance and lay its pipeline to an end. Of course, they will be joined very soon, but I'll speak to them after this event on such matters. Does everyone understand what I've said? And there are a lot of nods and kind of confused looks. Elliot says, finally and foremost, I would like to announce the glorious expansion of my demands. Through the kindred that will be joining this fine coterie, I now have a foothold in Riverview, and I will make it mine. I know that this is cause for concern amongst some of you that have been with me for long enough to remember the battles we fought throughout the 80s and the early 90s. We fought hard for Kanawa City, and we will fight hard again for Riverview. For it is a statement. What is on the edge of Riverview and East Side, you may ask? The state capitol complex. The domain of one La Sombra Primogen of the Camarilla Hank Coulter. They have dwelt long in their security in this ivory tower for which they have built, and it is time at which we struck them a blow. That we remind the Camarilla of Charleston that we are not to be trifled with, that we are not some blunt-fanged organization. So I say this, there may come a night where I call upon each and every one of you through the holy blood in which we are covered. Praise him. We will take Riverside, Riverview, for the Baron of Kanawa City.
Velasco will unlink his arms and begin fervently clapping, and then call out, "Long live the movement."
There's some clapping. There are a lot of very trepidatious faces in the crowd. He says, now go forth. Go forth, my kindred. Take your joy to the streets, though I will need this coterie here for just a moment longer.
Of course.
At your behest, Baron.
People begin to file out. Elliot waits for a long moment. So, what have you found in your endeavors?
A great many deal of things. Congratulations, by the way. I was unaware that you've planned to expand.
Well, as luck would have it, last evening, y'all were all taken to your rest. I came upon, on my evening drive, the child of Hank Coulter, left the Camarilla and willing to pledge their loyalty to the movement.
Quite fortuitous.
Almost too fortuitous if I were not to feel the spirit dwelling within the man, and between two men of faith, he is a priest.
A priest? Now, this is not getting lost in translation. When you say priest,
Oh,
do you
I
quite
do
so
mean
mean priest?
I do mean a Catholic one, my good sir.
Kind of side-eye and glance over at Calliope and check it. Kind of just checking the coterie's reaction. The entirety.
Omen hasn't let go of Calliope's arm. It's like his muscles are all locked in place right now.
Yeah, Clappy's trying her best to control her face. It's not working.
Lark looks like she's 600 miles away from here.
Father Winthrop is our foothold in Riverview.
But you yourself say that he's trepidatious.
I am unconvinced as of yet that, without this coterie, that we would be able to maintain our foothold in Riverview and expand to truly encompass the domain and in the movement. Do I have your support in this?
Ever and always, Baron. Until which point would you receive a notice from me of which would surely be a declaration of war. But until which point, I am your humble servant.
How do you plan on taking the domain, sir?
Well, it's funny that you might ask. I've organized something of a protest at the state capitol complex tomorrow. A protest to which you will all be present in the evening, where you will meet Father Winthrop. Aid these protesters as much as you see fit. Let the Camarilla know that we will not lay down and allow them to walk back into Riverview.
Thy will be done.
As I said, you'll meet with Father Winthrop there. And, well, I would trust my dear daughter to get a measure of the man.
That is my specialty, Daddy.
Very well. It seems we're all in agreement, are we not?
I think we can say certainly so. As for what we found tonight, and Velasco will relay the information, unless you'd like me to go over the details once more. But what we found, essentially.
Relaying the information that you've gathered this evening, he nods. Well, sounds as if perhaps we are floundering for a moment. I must ask, why was this joiner not brought before me?
I did grab onto him, Daddy. I was going to, but it hurt. And I forgot that I still have a point of aggravated damage. And she'll show her hand.
My sweet, my dear. Well, that just will not do.
I should have healed it, Daddy, but I think I wanted to keep it as a reminder of the mission we have before us.
It's a good evidence piece.
Yeah,
Once we
that too.
find the assassin. It's one of the reasons we didn't bring him, sir. We're tracking him right now.
Couldn't quite
And it's gonna
remove
look
him.
at Velasco.
Couldn't quite remove him. He felt the need to inform us that if he was to be taken, that there would be hell to pay. And he didn't quite elaborate, so we didn't want that to make its way back here to your domain.
They are easy to find, though. At least for me. They're warded when you see them.
Is that right?
Yes.
Oh, well then. It sounds like ships to scupper. You have a plan.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'll say this then. I release you all for the evening, though. Calliope, if you have a moment, I would like to speak with you alone before you head back to your domain.
Of course, sir.
Says, Lark, will you be havening here with me this evening?
No, Daddy, I need to go check up on my mama. Apparently that she's sick, and I'll just sleep over at the auto body shop. It'll just that way I can spend as much time with her before daylight.
Well, I hadn't heard. Would you like me to send over some flowers?
I'll see what the condition is and I'll let you know.
All right, well, you know, all you have to do is make a bill out here, and I'll take care of it for you now.
Thank you, Daddy.
All right, and he kisses you on the forehead.
Can I determine if that's Lark telling the truth or not?
That would be a wits and insight versus Lark's manipulation and subterfuge.
My highest roll.
Pipe. Wits and insight is my second highest. Using the specialty, I mean, it's up to you. Using the specialty to detect lies?
Sure.
I mean, it's not
Six.
technically a lie because her mom is technically sick. She's just not going to go see her.
Guys, I think you're a bad influence on the homeschool kid.
I'm gonna
Oh,
blood both.
I am also.
I don't get hungrier.
I do not get hungrier. 9 successes.
9 successes for Velasco.
Successes.
8 for Lark. You can tell that Lark isn't totally lying, but isn't totally telling the truth either.
Good to know.
Ellie says, "Very well. Now I dismiss you. To your may the rest of your evenings be blessed and fortuitous."
And you as well, Baron. I'll offer my arms to Lark and Omen.
Omen's gonna nod to Elliot and drop Calliope's arm and kind of squeeze, like on her forearm, and look at her. And then throw an arm around Velasco's shoulders. All right, let's get to planning, right?
Indeed. Solus, if you'd kindly.
He runs up your pant leg and is like holding onto your thigh.
Perfect.
When Solus appears, Omen just scowls for a second. He doesn't catch it. It just scowls and then goes back to that cheerful face.
And as the three of you exit the church, leaving Calliope and Elliot, he says, "Now you said you could track glyphs, wards."
Yes. Through aspects.
What else could you track, I wonder? If I were to give you a sample of Vitae, could you find others with similar blood?
Well, I can track people, yes, but I have to have seen them first. Unfortunately, blood does not suffice.
Do you not know how to conjure the image of a man from their blood?
Not at current, unfortunately. I hate to admit any mediocrity.
Allow me to give you tutelage then. And he reaches down and bites his wrist.
Oh god.
And he
There's no-
lets some pour out into his hand. And I'm gonna make a quick roll for him here. Perfect. And you see the blood raises into a hazy image of himself in his hand.
Does this trip off knowledge hungry?
Sure does.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Okay. Her eyes will go wide, and again, hearing the word failure ringing in her head from Rhododendron, and she'll just say, "I would like to know."
He runs his thumb over your jaw and opens your mouth and tilts your head back. And begins to bleed into your mouth. And that is where we will end this third session of Blood of the Covenant, Lust. Thank you all for being here, and we'll see you on the next one.